Mr. Chairman, I have an amendment at the desk.
The clerk will report the amendment.
Amendment offered by Mr. Delaney of Maryland, page 9, line 6, after the dollar amount, insert the following, reduced by $7,463,000, page 88, line 16, after the dollar amount, insert the following, increased by $5 million.
Pursuant to House Resolution 303, the gentleman from Maryland and a member opposed, each will control 5 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Maryland.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield myself as much time as I may consume.
The gentleman from Maryland is recognized.
Thank you. I want to start by thanking the chairman and the ranking member for their unwavering support of our national defense and our veterans. Mr. Chairman, my amendment increases the funding for a program called Fisher House from $5 to $10 million, and it funds that increase by reducing the amount in the operation and maintenance account by $5 million. Mr. Chairman, the Fisher House is a very successful and very well-regarded nonprofit with a single mission, which is to provide free housing and lodging to families of veterans, and the facilities are located near veterans hospitals and military hospitals and VA facilities. And the purpose of this housing is to allow the families of veterans to be with their loved ones, the servicemen or women who have served our country and are receiving medical care at one of these facilities. And Mr. Chairman, we know how important that is for the families and for the loved ones, but we know in particular how important that is for our veterans when they're receiving care incurred in the service to our great nation, for them to have their families with them. The Fisher House program has been in business for 25 years, and they've been a proven and exceptional steward of taxpayer money. They operate 65 facilities all around the country. Again, these facilities are near military hospitals or veterans facility. They operate to a very high standard. They have a deep pipeline of new facilities that they want to build. Unfortunately, there's a great need for these facilities, which is why we're proposing to increase their funding from $5 to $10 million. I've introduced this amendment for the past 3 years. It's enjoyed bipartisan support, and this year it also has the support of the gentle lady from Michigan, who I'd like to recognize for 2 minutes.
From Michigan is recognized for 2 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Delaney. I want to thank the gentleman from Maryland for yielding and for his leadership on this critically important issue. I rise in very strong support of this amendment. For many years, I've worked with hospitalized veterans and their families who have often had to travel far from home to get treatment, and seen what the Fisher Houses have done. The Fisher House Foundation does wonders in being a home away from home during very difficult times for our veterans and their families. As Congress continues to address veterans' issues, it's critical that their families also have support systems in place and a safe place to stay while the veterans are receiving treatment. We should be building more Fisher Houses across the country. We're currently trying to put one in Michigan, and as I explored that public-private partnership, discovered that there is more than a 5-year wait for communities in that pipeline. This bill isn't a silver bullet, but it would help reduce that timeline. I want to thank my good friend Congressman Delaney for his leadership on this issue, and I urge all members to support this bipartisan amendment that helps veterans and their families. I yield back the balance of my time.
Gentlewoman from Michigan yields back the balance of her time.
I reserve the balance of my time.
Gentleman from Maryland reserves the balance of his time.